All right. All right. So moving on to this, and shout out to my boy Khalif, man. He was getting cooked on, Twitter the past couple days. so so my man said the idea of a real gamer is the dumbest idea of this generation. The idea of a real gamer is the dumbest idea of this generation. Now, I'm gonna give you my personal thoughts on this before we get to the main discourse, one of the main discourses that he had with someone who is unfortunately part of the crumb side of YouTube, and this makes perfect sense why he is upset. So I used to think because there's a lot of elitism in the gaming space. Like, we say that gaming is inclusive. Yeah, it is inclusive in terms of like men, women, like whatever, whatever race, nationality that you are. Like, everybody plays video games in some form or fashion, but there's definitely a lot of elitism there. There are still men who think that girls can't play games, they should go back in the kitchen. There are obviously what we've been talking about in the past few months, good lord, if a black person ends up being the main character, then it's automatically DEI, and there's an agenda, this anti-woke stuff. So there's still a lot of gatekeeping, a lot of, hey, you shouldn't be doing this, why are you playing this, you don't have the authority to speak about things because blah 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 blah. Anyway, so I used to think, I was like, yeah, a lot of y'all who are talking on the internet, y'all aren't real gamers. What up, Megas? Like, y'all aren't real gamers. And then I realized, I'm like, you know what? Like, if you play games, you're a gamer. Like, let's just harp on that for a second. If you play games, you're a gamer. But there are different subsets of gamers. And once I realized this and finally acknowledged, I'm like, okay, like, you can be a hardcore gamer that plays a lot of games. Like me. Like, I don't play a lot of different genres of games, but I play a lot of different games throughout each year, right? So I consider myself a hardcore gamer. But there are hardcore gamers who only play 1 to 2, 3 games a year. You have the Call of Duty gamers, the bro gamers. You have the people who play fighting games. You have the people who just play Fortnite. You have the people who just play 2K. You have the people who just play Madden. But that's all that they play. But they spend a lot of time playing those games. And yeah, I would still consider them to be hardcore gamers. They're just not. They just don't have an expansive palette when it comes to the games that they play. They'll just stick to their 1, 2 games and they'll be cool with it, but they just play those games a lot. They'll play those games all throughout the year until the next one comes out, or if it's a live service game, they'll just continue playing it and playing it and playing it. And then you have the casual gamer, you'll hop on every now and then, you'll play a couple hours and you'll hop off. And that's fine. Like, everybody's a gamer in that opinion. But what I don't typically like is when people think that they know or think that they are super knowledgeable on a particular genre, particular video game, when you don't necessarily have the time put into it, or you don't necessarily play those games, or again, you're just a random on the internet just talking, and you don't have any sort of credentials, you haven't been doing this for a long time, blah 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 blah. But there's a certain subset on YouTube. And again, called on the crump side, the hate community, whatnot. And they base your credentials not on what you've done in the gaming industry. You could have these accolades, you could get all these hookups, you could have these interviews, you could win awards, you could be on award shows. You could be doing it, you could actually be on like a video, like you actually be working with the video game company. I mean, I don't know how legit that you can get to say, hey, like, I'm a real gamer, or I have credentials, and this is why people listen to me for my opinions on gaming and or the gaming landscape. I don't know what's considered, the credential that you need to have. But there's a certain subset of YouTube that bases your credentials, your right to talk about games, on your achievements. Let me say this again, your achievements. You know that thing that pops up on your Xbox Live when you do a certain thing in the video game. Those trophies that you get on your PlayStation. You know, you know those achievements that you get on Steam whenever you do something. This is what people, a certain group of people, consider your right to talk about video games. And their reasoning, the reason why they say this is because if you don't have certain achievements, if you didn't 100% a video game, if you haven't completed the game and gotten that particular achievement slash trophy that said that, hey, you beat that video game, then you don't have the right to talk about a video game or give your first impressions or give your review on video games. And it says out here, but yes, Darth, I did hear about it, and we're gonna talk about it. It's literally coming up next. So so when Khalif said that the idea of a real gamer is the dumbest idea of the generation, then this guy who I am unfortunately familiar with says that the idea of gaming journalists and influencers of gaming is the dumbest idea. Pretending that they aren't fake gamers, that only to stir the pot, which his English is messed up, to stir the pot or gain attention by pretending to be a fan but never play games and thinking real gamers don't know is the dumbest idea. Now, I don't know if you all have noticed, and I know I'm pretty sure I talked about this before on one of my other videos, but there is another war going on, not the DEI war, but there is a war against gaming journalism. There is a war against gaming journalism. IGN is getting hit a lot, and IGN, you know, rightfully so, in the past few months have been on some bull, but that's neither here nor there. People have been getting on their head for a while, and it's mostly behind either their previews. We have seen a lot of previews, not just IGN, but other reputable gaming companies as well. When they preview games, either they go into it in bad faith, or you can tell that they aren't the best at playing these video games when they get to preview them. And this is how the joke came about, that, you know, gaming journalists don't know how to play video games. so that's how that came up, right? You know, there definitely is a stereotype that gaming journalists don't know how to play video games well, and or they don't finish games, and, you know, but they're still want to put out a review because obviously there is a deadline for a lot of these games that they have to play and review. And it's tough, man. Just imagine having to, you know, you are one of, I don't know, 3 or 4 major journalists for a company, and, you know, you get a game like Elden Ring, and they're like, hey, you know, play this game, try to get as far as you can, and then review it. And you're like, well, this is a long ass game. This game is obviously over 100 hours to do everything. How do I review a video game like this in this small time frame? You literally have to, like, no life it. You have to no life. You have to get no sleep and play this game all day, every day. And then just imagine if you have another game that you have another deadline for that's mixed in between that. So it gets tough. It gets tough to complete a lot of these games, let alone 100% it. Let alone 100% a game. That's a whole different conversation. So it's extremely tough for a lot of gaming journalists, for these reputable companies, to play these games and give it a proper review. And I feel like that's unfair. It's been unfair to say, hey, gaming journalist for this company, like, you reviewed this game, but you missed this, and this, because I played more than you, let alone, you know, but you don't have a life, and you're in the basement, you don't have a job or whatever, and you literally have all the time in the world to play this one game. But this gaming journalist who has a deadline to put out this review before the game actually comes out, or on the date that it comes out, they literally did not have the time because their job is to beat this game or play this particular video game in set amount of time and put out a freaking review. So it's not fair. And yes, there have been times where you could tell, like, hey, you know, this gaming journalist is being disingenuous. Like, you clearly have an agenda against this video game or this company, and you're spewing some bullshit in your review. But a lot of these times, again, it's just because of deadlines that, yeah, the journalist may miss something in the first impressions or the review. But going throughout the years, there have been a lot of what we call new media coming through, like YouTubers, you know, people who have a passion for gaming and they come in and they have podcasts, or they have their own, they have their own reviews and first impressions of these video games, and they got to a point where, a lot of people trust their opinions as well. And now it's to a point where there is a war. Now it's like, hey, well, this person over here who doesn't consider himself a journalist, he is giving more fair reviews. He knows what he's talking about, compared to this gaming journalist who's a part of this company who doesn't know jack shit about what they're talking about, or you consider them, or you think that they don't know jack shit about what they're talking about because they may have said something that you don't like in said review, or they seem like they're not as knowledgeable because they didn't, quote unquote, play the full game. So it's a weird space. It's a weird space that we're in right now. And again, I don't consider myself a journalist at all. Like, I'm just a nigga that talks about video games. But I have developed a platform that literally, like, y'all are here listening to what I have to say. And we have a podcast where y'all care about our opinions and y'all value them, because a lot of times, again, we do get the opportunities to play these games early. We have that insider knowledge sometimes. So throughout the years, over 10 years now, like, we are reputable to y'all. So I get it, and we are considered new media, and I have no beef against gaming journalists. And a lot of times, like, I don't listen to or watch a lot of gaming journalist reviews like I used to. Like, back in the day, all that I pretty much had was Game Informer, the actual physical magazine back then. That's all I got my knowledge on, with what new games are coming out and reviews on games. But then it started expanding. You got things like XPlay, and then YouTube blows up, and media moves their stuff to YouTube and blah blah blah. So a lot of the way that I consume media and get my information on games has changed, because there are a lot of new media that has come in, and they essentially get their news before sometimes the big gaming journalists. So I understand how more people have gravitated towards new media in terms of video games, or really anything, compared to like the big corporations, who they may have lost their passion, or you just may have gotten a job just because I need a job. Like, you were a journalist doing something else, talking about music or TV or something, and then you get moved over to video games, and you may not know much about video games. You may have not played video games all your life, but now you gotta do what you gotta do. So anyways, that's kind of my take. I don't like how this whole new media versus gaming journalism has brewed up. But this person obviously considers Kahlief to be a gaming journalist here. He considers him to be a gaming journalist, and literally, like, Khalifa, like who'd you say is in his category? So he was trying to bait him. He was like, well, who do you say is a gaming journalist or influencer? so he was like influencers are people who don't speak what they feel. So he's insinuating that Kahlief and other people like him, they're grifters, and they're just yes men, who just say whatever, who's ever backing them in the background is, one of them saying not being fair, or and not being critical of certain subjects, certain video games that they probably should. So that's what he's insinuating here. He said they're regular people who look like you or me. So he tried to, it was a roundabout way. It was like, yeah, I'm talking about you. But he said they're the regular people who look like you or me that are easier to trust, but in reality are the ones you shouldn't, as they are not genuine. So he's saying that Kahlief isn't genuine. He's putting Kahlief in Paris in here. Let's just keep it a buck. He's putting Kahlief in Paris in here. And a lot of people don't like Paris because Paris is, he talks about being pro Xbox all the time. So that's why a lot of people don't like Paris. They say he's disingenuous here. And Kahlief, he's more on the, pro black side, like the DEI side. And he talks about a lot of matters within that space. And a lot of people don't like him because of that, especially now. Like, he began a ton of flack ever since the DEI stuff. The anti-woke people have been coming at him pretty heavy. So Kyle says, so I want to go back to my original post. How does any of what I share connect to the idea of real fake gamer? He said, and then he said, what's your gamer tag PSN? This is what I laugh. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, that's you right there, bro. What does that have to do with anything? You're asking for this man's gamer tag / PSN. You know why he's asking? Yeah, I want to take a good guess. I said it already, but do you know why he's asking for his gamer tag? I want to see if any of y'all know in the chat before I say it. When he said, but he continued, he said the idea that people think it's okay to lie about a game they don't play or like for attention is crazy. You consider yourself a journalist. Are you a gaming journalist? The reason why he asked for his gamer tag / PSN is because he wants to look at his achievements / trophies. Going back to what I said in the beginning, there's a certain subset of YouTube that this is the way that they check your gamer cred. They want to see what achievement that you got. They want to see if you beat the game, and they want to see if you 100%ed the game. This is exactly why he asked. It wasn't in good faith at all. He was asking for it because he wants to check his achievements when he's talking about these video games. And if he sees that there is this achievement at the end that you didn't get, then they're going to call you out and be like, oh, well, you didn't beat the game, so how do you have the right to review it? That's exactly what they do. They've been doing it for a while. Don't fall for the bait. So like people are ready to go through your account. Yeah, I say it happens all the time. Bro, we're checking the trophy. Yeah. What up, Zaya? So Nia asks if you're a gamer journalist. Can Kyle say, I don't consider what I do to be traditional journalism, which he's true. It's facts. I do speak on the gaming industry and gain for what I believe is an informed perspective as a person who worked in the industry and as a player. Said once at 1v1, he said, so you're a blogger? So this is what he's trying to do. So he's trying to say, hey, you're not a journalist, you're not a gamer, you're just a blogger. But does that take away from the work that Khalif has done? No. It doesn't matter which label that you want to place on him. Khalif has put in the work, point blank. And I'm not just saying this because Khalif is my homie. I'm saying this because Khalif has literally put in the work. So nobody can take that away from him. Like, what does it matter if you want to consider him a blogger? Who cares? So he said in journalism, it shouldn't be about what you believe. It should be about what your actual facts show. You can believe the sun is a star, but that wouldn't be facts. It'll be your opinion. What kind of journalist are you if not traditional? He said, when I'm giving my opinion about a topic, sure those who have a mix of facts and feelings in them. Because again, this is all our opinions at the end of the day. This is all our opinions. I can say that Elden Ring is shit. Like, I can say that Elden Ring is a 0 out of 10. Now, would everybody get on my head about it? Absolutely, because we know that that's not true. But it's my opinion. What up, Flex a lot? And that's like giving the extreme example, right? But it's still my opinion. I could be like, I don't like Elden Ring because it's too difficult. Like, we literally seen people say that about Sekiro. Like, we've seen people say that about a lot of Souls games. It's like, it's too difficult. There are no accessibility options. There's no easy mode. Therefore, I think the game is bad. Is their opinion a bad one? Yeah. But is it their opinion? Yes. Is it littered in facts for them? Like in this particular example, yeah, it is, because there is no easy mode. And yes, accessibility options are almost non-existent in these games. Those are facts. And again, that's mixing facts with opinions. Is it a good opinion? No, but it's an opinion nonetheless. So why does it matter here? Like, it sounds like this guy is wanting Khalif to bend the knee and say what he wants this guy to hear. Like, and is that genuine? No. Do you have to listen to Khalif? No. Like, so I don't understand. Like, this is the problem. Like, this, you don't have to consume people's content who you don't like. Like, why is this person bothering you? Why is what Khalif does is doing bother you? Like, that's what I don't understand. There are people I don't like. I don't consume their content. I don't understand why this concept is so difficult to understand. So this person said that they're driving. I'm not going to play this whole thing, but the gist of it was, he just shout out to Ace of All Trades with the prompts up. But the gist of it was he was just going along and again saying that he's not a gaming journalist and that he ducked out on giving him his gamer tag and blah 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 blah. So Khalif had a very good response here. He said, I guess I gotta pack it up. So he'd be a little tongue in cheek there. And I'm like, yeah, man, it's I mean, what are you gonna do? So then he put another one here again, just spewing out the same bull. So Khalif comes with this to basically kind of end it, because it's like at this point there's nothing else to say, right? So he said it sounds like people should be able to understand other people have different opinions and whatnot. Yeah, exactly. And once you understand that, I swear you will be in a better place, man. I swear you will be in a better place. Say straight fatherless behavior. So Khalif says to Andy, said, fam, I say this with the utmost respect. I've been doing this work for a decade and have built a dope audience based on me sharing my experiences as a player and even more recently as a person who has worked in the industry. And this is facts. Like, do you know that Khalif, even though he doesn't advertise it, Khalif worked at Riot Games. You know, he's worked at Riot Games, he's worked at Intel. Like, he's been doing like a 9-to-5 job on top of Spawn on Me, his own brand, you know, as a, I guess as a podcaster and journalist here. So it's not like Khalif just sits on his ass and just spews opinions that you may or may not like. Like, this man has actually worked in the video game industry. So all of this goes into what I hope is smart and nuanced conversation around games and the gaming industry. I won awards for media, spoken in numerous national and international platforms about various topics in gaming. Tons of highly respected folks in the industry know me and collaborate with me. I run the second or third biggest gaming award show on the planet. I've been featured on Game Awards to millions of folks for that work across the intersection of racing games. I appreciate that you want to diminish my work, and that's fine, because that's basically what he's doing. He's trying to diminish his work. I think my work speaks for itself, and we just serve different audiences, which is also dope. Yep. I know that the voice I've garnered in this space has impact with the spaces I'm trying to influence, and to me, that is what matters. And all this real versus fake continues to be silly games for unserious people, and most folks who matter in space pay no attention to the narrative. So well said by Khalif. And this person didn't care because he did another video just basically saying the same stuff. He was like, I don't care about what you said. He was like, that's all fine. That's all fine that you won awards and that you're doing this and that. He was like, congratulations. But he was like, I'm talking about gaming journalism and being a real gamer. I just like, oh my God, bro. You cannot win. You cannot win with these type of people. You cannot win with these type of people. Khalif literally told you that he worked in the industry, and you're saying congratulations, but that's not what I'm talking about. I am not going to argue with somebody who has literally worked for a gaming company, one of the biggest gaming companies in the world, at Riot Games, and you didn't even know that. And then you're trying to just ignore it as well. Just scoot past it because you still care about fucking gaming achievements and trophies. This is how dumb people are, bro. This is why I stay far away from the Crumb side, from the head community. I don't want any parts of them because they're still on this bullshit decades later, bro. Decades later, they're still on this bullshit. Who cares about achievements? If you want to look at my Xbox achievements, trust me, the only reason why I'm getting achievements on Xbox Live again is because I play with Game Pass. Other than that, you'll be thinking I'm a fraud too. I play on the PC. You want to look at my Steam achievements? I don't know, go for it. You want to look at my PSN achievements? I don't play a lot of games on there either. So I'm like, what would be the point of me giving you my gamer tags like PSN when I don't even own an Xbox, nor do I barely play anything on my PS5, except for if it's exclusive. Like, you want to check whether 100% of the game to have credibility to talk about it? What are we talking about here? What are we talking about here, bro? Like, and this is why I'm like, bro, people go into all these conversations in bad faith. This is in super bad faith. You already have an agenda. You don't like what he's saying. He's like, I searched you, I've researched you, I've listened to your interviews, and it just may not be for you. That's fine. It may not be for you. I can't say that I listen to all of Khalif's content, but I do support the man. I like the conversation that he has. It is a specific niche that he is tackling. He is not trying to be the best reviewer on the planet. He's not trying to be the best streamer, the best gamer on the planet. He gets video games, he reviews them, he talks about them in a different way that people may or may not like. He talks to people in the industry, and he gets those in-depth conversations from them. That's it. And you can either consume it or not. It's not that difficult. So he says people are not in the military arguing with me about the military when I'm actually in it. Yeah, like I say, yeah, people be tripping, people be yapping, man. So shout out to Khalif, man. He like me for real. He was like, you know what? I got time today, cuz. I got time today. So we go have a conversation with you, buddy. We gonna have a conversation with you, buddy. And we go see what's up. So in any case, man, shout out to Khalif. He been getting packed up. He been getting packed up, mostly by the anti-war community, but he's taking his stride, man. Shout out to him. Shout out to him for that. All right, next bit of news. I know multiple people came in here already talking about it, but yes, it is official, man. I saw this today. I said, woo! Shout out to the person who tagged me. I forgot your name on Twitter, but shout out to the person who tagged me. Yes, Yakuza Like a Dragon is going to be made into a live action series October 24th on Prime Video. Oh my God, I am so excited. RGG, please do not let Amazon do anything but fund you the money. Don't let them do anything but fund you the money. You already have the stories. I just want to see this come to life, and that's all that I have to say. I cannot wait, man. I cannot wait. Oh man, and it's like a Dragon Yakuza, so that they give me the impression that they're going to start from like a dragon and not from the very beginning, which is fine. I'm not mad at it if they decide to go that route. So we'll see. We'll see. They have a lot of different storylines that they can go with here. So I will be super excited to see how they start this off. Because this can continue forever. Like literally, this could continue forever. So I want to see if this is going to get the attention that it needs in order to get, you know, multiple seasons here. That's obviously my ultimate end goal here for my fandom. So I cannot wait. I cannot wait. So just give them the Amazon money. Yeah, just give them the money, man. He said, "Hey, yo, a little too late to announce this." No, not too late for me. Not too late for me. I don't care. I know people have been saying, they were like, man, why don't y'all make Yakuza into a movie or something? But I'm cool with this. I'm cool with this now. It's better now. Better now. Announcing is close to the release kind of makes me nervous. Not so much for me. Not so much for me, but we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, it could end up being a dub like all the other anime that we've seen, unfortunately, you know, end up being not so good. Or it could be a banger, you know? It could be a banger. That they gonna hire a white man. Why? No, they better not. They better not. They better not. RGG, don't do it. Don't do it. So, like I said, I'm excited for that. I'll be excited for that. So we'll see. We'll see. Other news, kind of game related, but not really on. Oh my God. Oh, what the? Jesus Christ. Like the chat hang. Oh, okay, yo, don't make me upset, man. Do not make me upset, man. It's about chat hangs. Chet Hanks, he got a Japanese accent now. You know I speak Japanese. I know you know I speak patois. You know I speak patois and Jamaican. So Twitch, man, should it be in English or subbed? I mean, it should be in both. It should be in both, but most likely it's gonna be in English. So, so Twitch said in the US, man, all my US people who are in here, starting on July 11th, just so you don't get blindsided. Again, I appreciate all of y'all for supporting. I appreciate all of y'all supporting not only me, but the rest of GI. And shout out to Put It On Vinyl for the follow as well. But starting July 11th for everybody in the US, the Twitch sub prices and gifting prices are going to go up to $5.99. So just keep that in mind. No longer going to be $4.99. It's going up to $5.99 in the US. And also keep this in mind, prices for subs and gifting have already went up in other regions. So now it's just going to be hitting the US and New Zealand and multiple countries in Europe this time. But it's already went up in other regions. So, you know, it was only going to be a matter of time before it hit us. It was only going to be a matter of time before it hit us. Inflation. Inflation. So just keep that in mind, man. If you see that, you know, your resub's gonna be $5.99, then, you know, come July, then you know why. Okay. I'm not upset about it because, again, I already seen this coming. They've already done it in other regions, so now it's just hard time.